Welcome back to Yoshi Entertainment, everybody. So this is some absolute hot mess. So apparently there are people already dividing themselves like they usually do on the internet. But as I usually like to say in a lot of these videos, we should always start from the very beginning. Apparently, allegedly, there was already a feud brewing between Mena and Spice, and it also extended to Amara La Negra. Now, this all started apparently, allegedly, after Safari and Mena finally got a divorce. Y'all know how messy that was, how ridiculous that was. Erica refused to stop talking about it. Meanwhile, Safari went his separate way. Apparently, allegedly, Amara decided she would date, if you will, Safari, and she made it very clear that she was only doing it for the story plot. She said, listen, I'm coming in here to do my job, to collect my coins, if you will. This is for the story plot. She made that clear. Now, I guess that rubbed Mena the wrong way. And then Safari gifted her children, her babies, her precious bundles of joy, if you will, with Rolex watches. Now, I thought that was actually a very nice gesture. You don't see people doing stuff like that all the time. And it was actually very nice and generous financially because y'all know how much Rolex watches cost? And if I'm not mistaken, watches actually gain value over time. So it's a very nice thing to do for these children when they grow older and they understand, the value of these watches. Either they can keep them or they can sell them. That's up to them. But once again, Mena took it upon herself to be offended. I don't even know why she was all up in this woman's business and what she was doing with Safari, because remember, he is her ex-husband now. But she took to the internet and complained about how you up here gifting some other chick Rolex watches for her kids, but you ain't around here to see your kids, which was a bad reflection back on him. I guess she was trying to insinuate that he wasn't doing what he was supposed to be doing. I don't know how true that was. Allegedly, he is and was paying his child support. Everybody gave Mena the side eye for what she said, as they should have, but not enough people, if you ask me. But anyways, then we fast forward a little bit, and this woman by the name of Spice that's also on the show, which, sidebar, I don't even know why Spice or Amara La Negra, for that matter, are even on this show. Y'all know how I feel about shows like Love and Hip Hop in Atlanta and The Real Housewives of this, that, and the other place. Like I've said before, they're all just raggedy shows. They really paint women of color in a very ratchet and negative light. Quite frankly, both of them could be models. I mean, seriously, forget about Love and Hip Hop. Get the bag, if you will, in the modeling career. But anyways, Miss Spice gave birth to her beautiful bundle of joy. And while she was in the hospital, fighting for her life, literally, apparently, Safari called to check upon her and make sure she was all right, which I thought was a very nice and thoughtful thing of him to do. I don't know why he did it, but it was a very thoughtful thing of him to do. Now, apparently, while we all thought they were all sending up prayers for this young woman's speedy recovery and for her life to be saved by God during this process, apparently Mena would go on to prove us all wrong. So they both sat down and they were supposed to be having dinner. It was supposed to be calm, and for whatever goofy reason Mena brought up, so I just don't understand why Safari called you when you were in the hospital. Then Spice, along with I'm sure everybody else who was watching, proceeded to, tilt her head in confusion and ask, well, why would you say that? And Mena fixed her mouth to say, oh, well, when I was in the hospital, in the same situation, he didn't call me. He didn't come up there. He didn't check on me. So I'm just trying to understand why he did for you what he didn't even do for me while we were in a relationship. And Spice responded accordingly. Why are you asking me? What does that have to do with me? Your problem is with Safari. If he didn't call you, why didn't you take it up with him? Meanwhile, I'm still trying to figure out why this heifer is still talking about her ex-husband. Clearly, she has some problems that are unresolved. I get it. People fall out when a divorce happens. But if every time we turn around, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, you have something to say about your ex's name is always in your mouth. First of all, we don't want to hear that. And second of all, you need some more therapy and to take it to God in prayer. So Spice then proceeded to say what somebody really needed to say to Mena. You act like you are the only woman who's ever been divorced and has had to do things on her own. You act like the only woman who's ever had to deal with hard relationship problems. And the reason why Erica Mena feels that way, and the reason why she's always attacking these women, by no surprise, these dark-skinned, melanated women, every time Safari does something for them, is because, and we're going to always bring this up when it comes to Erica Mena, because she's been putting these vibes out there for a while. She is that very stereotypical non-black woman, and we've got to tell the truth and shame the devil today, who really thinks while these men might treat you dark-skinned women, you black women, you melanated women, like raggedy garbage, they will not do that to me. She is the very stereotypical non-black woman who's very colorist and disrespectful and thinks she has the right to be because of her skin shade and because of her race. She thinks she shouldn't be subject to the same heartbreak, life struggles, and issues that these black women, these melanated women, should be subject to because she's not black. Like I said, she's been giving these vibes all this time, and when people called her out about it, everybody wanted to coddle her. Everybody wanted to say, oh, boo-hoo, Erica Mena. People stopped feeling sorry after a certain point because, one, she created this mess for herself. Let's just be very honest. When people told her not to involve herself with Safari, and she did it anyways, they were saying, sis, I don't think he's really into you like that. But she just insisted on being with him because of her complex, if you will. Like I said, people start to lose sympathy. But anyways, let's get back to what really happened. I think Spice kind of spoke for it all when she said, you're not the only one who's had to go through hardship, that's had to go through this, that, and the other. And at that point, I really think that she was just tired of her always complaining about Safari and what Safari did for some other woman, etc. And then Erica Mena had the audacity to try to one-up her by saying, well, you haven't been, taking care of children by yourself longer than me. I've been taking care of my children for, like a decade and a half, so to speak. And that's when basically Spice called her out on her crap. Now, people were trying to say, oh, well, you brought the kids into it. Spice brought the kids into it. First of all, I'm the first person to say, leave the kids out of it. Leave the kids alone. Okay, we can all agree about that. Although, first of all, Erica Mena was the one who brought the kids into it by trying to, like I said, one-up this woman by saying, well, I've been taking care of kids longer than you have by myself, which I just felt like was unnecessary. It's like, again, why are we over here comparing traumas? Why are we in competition about who went through the worst? But she took it there when she said that in response to what Spice said. And then Spice said, okay, well, since that's what we're talking about, first of all, your son don't even like you like that. And she was referring to her oldest son. And people were real quick to say, oh, well, you did bring her son into it, like I said, as if that justifies what came out of her mouth next. Not only did she say that she wanted this woman to not make it on the table when she was birthing her child, which was very disrespectful, morbidly disrespectful for her to say, considering the fact that she had just mentioned that she almost didn't make it herself with one of her kids. She called this woman a monkey. Now, we all know what that really means. So low-key, not only is she colorist, but she's also racist. And again, nothing that Spice said warranted that. As a matter of fact, let's get into it. First of all, I could see if she actually drugged this woman's child for filth. She did not. She simply said, your son don't even like you. And the reason why she said that was because this woman was claiming that she was in this boy's life like all the entire time. Even Safari, allegedly, in a text message, came out and said, son where? The entire 3 years that they were together, this man alleged he only saw that son that he did not have with her only 5 times through that entire time. And if Erica Mena is going to sit up and get mad because anybody remotely mentions her son, then she ought to keep that 100 across the board with everybody. Even Spice said after they got into it because of what she said. So you gonna sit up here and let Scrappy and Stevie J get in your face and tell you, shut up girl, go take care of your son? Which was way more disrespectful than what Spice said, but you didn't do nothing to them. You didn't get in their face. You didn't try to fight them. You didn't have no smoke for them. You certainly didn't tell them that you wish they would have been unalived on the table. But you got all the smoke for me? Hypocrite. And I completely agree with that. And like I said, I'm going to double down on it. Nothing that came out of Spice's mouth warranted her being racist and colorist. And anybody who says, oh, well, she deserved that because she brought the kids into it, you're just as raggedy and racist as Erica is. Like I said before, I will never understand why people think a racial slur or a colorist slur is an acceptable response in an argument. It will never be. But this exposed, once again, like I said, her deep-rooted hatred towards these women for no real reason. Like, I honestly believe that these women might have actually wanted to be her friend and be cool with her, but she burned that bridge. She burned a whole lot of bridges, really. And it's really sad, like I said before, that people keep making excuses for women with this kind of behavior, which only empowers them to be crazy, to be disrespectful, to be racist, to be colorist. I feel like this has been coming for a while, and it finally just came out at the height of this little argument that they had. A lot of people were expressing that they felt like Mena should be fired from Love and Hip Hop. Because if you go onto anybody else's workplace, anybody else's employment, if you will, and call one of your co-workers a racial slur, that is a fireable offense. And I don't want to hear anybody whining about, but what about her coins? What about her bag? First of all, if you were at your job and somebody, especially if they weren't black, called you a racial slur, you would want your boss, HR, somebody to do something about it. So keep that same energy for other people. I don't care how you think about them, what you think about them. Have some freaking empathy. And second of all, she should have thought about her little coins before she let her internalized colorism and racism get the best of her and said what she said. But anyways, y'all let me know what y'all think and how y'all feel down in the comments below respectfully. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Y'all be respectful to your people out here and have a blessed day.